Hey, Mar.
Andrew!
What's going on? You get divorced again, I heard?
Yeah, I did.
Want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do.
All right, ready?
Here we go.
Welcome.
To
The
Happy
Never
After.
Pod.
Podcast is one word.
I know, but that's why it's funny.
Yes.
Actually, Matteo's a great singer.
He is.
Yeah. But he's not cheap. Couldn't do
sing this?
Oh, welcome to Happy Never After.
What is this called?
Happy Never After.
Happy Never After?
Yes.
How I feel right now?
Right.
Great.
You look great.
Real crack squad over here.
You came in hot.
Typically,
Mateo Lane, everyone. Mateo Lane.
what she meant to say is big old faggot. When you do
not
something,
big.
what are you implying? I'm Italian and I'm Mexican. I got a good one. Whenever
I'm
you
married
do,
a Mexican.
I got an email from Andrew saying, do you want to do? Yeah, not even. That's how low he thinks of me. He texted me.
I think the world.
And
of
what
you.
did you say?
I said, "Hey, bitch, get over here." And don't wear nothing. That's what I said.
What did you say?
I go, can you please do my podcast?
Now, what does a podcast entail?
A podcast entails a recording of voices,
Right.
and then you put it on iTunes. Mm-hmm. And it's just a recording with
And
no
where am I right now?
You're at a studio in front of the lights with a live audience
I
of
sure am.
100 people.
Yes, I am.
This is a big break. This is bigger than late night.
Yeah, I really need this. I mean, I can't.
It's a stepping stone.
I walked in and I just gayed out. I was like, you're putting me in front of lights and a camera, and I have hoodies over my head. I just ate a fucking waffle, and I went and got an HIV test. This is not the day that I'm coming in here to look cute.
How did it go?
You son of a... I'll find out in a week.
A week?
You have to wait a week.
You could do the auto one in like
That's
20 minutes.
That's a whole thing. You look who you're talking to. You think you don't know who you're talking to?
Yeah, I just got it.
I walked in real pissed. And what's your name?
Marshall.
Marshall had a comb for me, so thank you, Marshall.
It was the brush.
For me to try and make my fucking hair look
The
good.
fucking brush.
Not to Mariah Carey out, but you gotta let gays know these things.
I'm sorry. Next time
You know
I
who would
ever do
understand
anything,
me? It would be, so, like, if you had Yamanika come in here, same thing. She'd be pissed off. You have to let her know that she's gonna be on camera. And how many guests have you had now? You've had been a year?
65.
And
right.
I'm the first you told that there's no cameras.
Literally, I've never told one person that there's a camera.
I'm really
and
coming
no
off.
one has cared.
I'm really coming off.
You're the
likable right
only
now.
person that cares. You're really the only person that cares.
Damn straight.
No, but you should. I mean, you take a lot of prep. It takes a lot of prep for you to
Prep
look
is in the
good.
medication, antiviral medication, so I don't contract HIV if I have unprotected sex. Which I can't afford because I don't have insurance. And so if I wanted prep, it would cost me $3,000 a month.
How do you not have insurance?
Because
You only need it 1 month, right?
No, you need it. You take it every day. 1 month is if you are exposed to HIV and within 48 hours, they put you on 2 different PrEP and Truvada, or maybe it's another type of medication, but both antiviral medications that keep you from contracting HIV if you're within exposure of 48 hours, typically.
Yes.
So you
I
fuck
took
somebody without any protection?
I mean, that's pretty personal, but
I want to know how it works.
I mean that you don't get AIDS by shaking people's hands. Yeah.
Depends on
Or
hard you
what
shake.
the 80s thought if you share a glass of water. So
With Ryan White. Remember Ryan White?
I don't. I just nodded my head yes, but I don't.
Oh, no, Ryan White was like the first kid. You found out this one kid had AIDS, and
He had
everyone
blood
thought they had AIDS.
transfusion.
Yeah,
What, patient zero?
pretty much. I mean, that's the first one that anyone heard about. And then there was some girl that got it from a dentist. And then, yeah.
What was that dentist
like one of those-
doing?
The dentist,
That's like one of those stories
I
that
don't
they're
think
like,
that
oh,
makes-
they were.
I don't
I'll
think
Google
that
it and I'll
makes
send it
sense.
to you
No
if you're
way.
still talking to me.
Was the dentist like fucking her?
No,
Was
he-
he gay and fucking? Was
Yeah.
he doing heroin with her?
No, he got a cut on his finger, and then her gum when he
That
was
doesn't.
doing.
That's not the chance of admission. That's not. It's beyond.
So
a
you
rumor.
think she got
Yeah.
AIDS somewhere else and then
I don't
blamed
think
it on
she
the
exists.
dentist?
I think
Yeah, I
it's
don't
a
think
rumor.
so either. Do you hear about the AIDS roulette that people play?
I can't believe we're opening with AIDS. I'm sorry. I brought this on myself.
You did.
I'd prefer to move on to another
Okay.
topic.
Okay.
I couldn't be any worse of a guest, and typically I'm a great guest. I come in all
I don't know.
fireworks.
I've read
blah,
your
blah,
Yelp
blah.
reviews. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, my Yelp reviews are like, well, not so great in bed. Cooks a great carbonara and not so great fucking.
Why are you a selfish
I
lover?
lay there like a slug. No, if you bottom, I don't have to do much work.
Yeah.
Not like I lay there, but I know what to do. But I don't have the confidence that is required in a top.
Do you ever top?
So, okay, like every blue moon, and everyone is embarrassed when I do it. It's not like a magical thing. I
don't
just
have good rhythm?
It's not even about the rhythm. One, I don't know how they last that long. I don't understand that. Guys who just don't come ever. I'm like, what happened to your dick that you're just not coming? I mean, and also, I don't have that bravado. You know what I mean? Like to be a top, to come in there and push it around and legs up and do this, and you like that. And I find it all very embarrassing.
I feel like you did all that to me when you walked in here.
I let you have it.
Yeah, I felt like you topped the shit out of me.
have it. What's funny is when my anger is still, everyone's still laughing.
Yeah.
I was scared.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I was
everyone's
scared.
still laughing.
He's still scared.
I hope
can
you
feel
were
it.
scared. Yeah, but the problem is I'm gonna walk away after I calm down in like an hour, and then I'm gonna feel horrible with how I behaved, and I'll send you all apology texts because I'm gonna be like, I'm the biggest asshole. You guys hate me. Blah blah blah. This and that. But then I'm gonna remember you didn't tell me that I'm on video. I'm gonna be like, no, justified in my anger.
Well, I was going to send you the same text. I was going to apologize for the camera thing. 'cause I
No,
feel
don't worry
terrible.
about it.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
mad at you. I'm just, you know what it is? It's a deep insecurity. I am not happy with myself and who I am, even though I work out and do all that, but it's just made me an insecure exhibitionist. So all it's done is make me even more self-aware of how I look. And it's this kind of vicious cycle. So when I'm brought into situations where I'm not happy with how I look, but I know a billion people are going to watch it, it's like I just start feeling negative about myself as opposed to really me being mad at you. It's more of an internal thing that I'm upset with, that I'm trying to work out in therapy. And it's not going so well.
Yeah. So are you in a relationship?
The answer is obviously not. I mean, what monster would be with me at all? What idiot would ever want to date me? I am not a catch. I'll put that out there right now. I'm sensitive and I can cook and I have a nice butt, but outside of that, I'm a nightmare.
Do you want to be in a relationship?
I lie to myself and say, yes, I do, but then I'm horrified of the fact that I wouldn't have my freedom. It's hard to be in a relationship when you've become so. I've become so independent. You see what I'm saying? Like I've only had one relationship, and I was 22 to 24, and it was a very tempestuous, emotionally draining relationship. It wasn't good. I think I was immature, and I think he was emotionally abusive. I don't think it was a good relationship. And since then, I've been so afraid to allow myself to be vulnerable that I've thrown myself into work. So I immediately started drawing and doing stand-up, and I have not looked back since. And so I'm 6 years of stand-up is coming up. My anniversary for doing 6 years total is in January 1st. So to me, I've found that, okay, and I know I'm not going to be begging to get a spot. You know what I mean? It's a different grind. The grind changes the more you do it. So I'm not so worried about getting spots, and it almost opens up a pocket where it's like, oh, well, maybe you should be in a relationship. But I've focused so long on that type of work and that type of grind and getting to where I wanted to be that I have neglected everything emotionally that I left years ago when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend. So it's almost that part of my brain is still 22, not sure how to handle it and still afraid of being vulnerable. It really feels like in terms of relationships, I'm right next to where I was when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend. And so the idea of being with a boyfriend terrifies me. And the other part of it too is I've become so overly stimulated with the people around me that I'm now finding myself bored by normal people.
Right.
I'm into
That's the problem.
My best friends are comedians and drag queens. These are insane people. And and then you talk to some guys like, yeah, I work a 9 to 5 and I'm in a cubicle, but I'm on a bowling team. I'm like, I would rather be dead.
You don't like bowling?
I mean, I'm pretty bad. Bowling's one of those sports that looks like it should be easy, and it's frustrating every time.
Yeah, it's like golf. It's like golf.
This is going to sound dirty, but my fingers don't fit in the holes. And then when you find a bowling ball that they do,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I am like 50 feet away from those pins, and there are walls that it can bounce off of, and it just into the gutter. Or you'll get like one pin.
What walls are you talking
You know, like
about?
the little, like the whatever
about the
it's called.
alley.
The bumper
Yeah,
wall?
like the alley bump, whatever you call it. I'm not straight. I'm not a lesbian. I don't know this terminology. But anyway, so back to relationships. That's where I'm at. And I'm trying very hard, but I have been having more sex than I would prefer. I'm not a very promiscuous person, but as of late, I have been just a little more deviant, and so I'm like putting myself on celibacy for a minute and trying to just like figure out what my needs are and what I should be leading with. And the things I should be leading with are people who care about me for more than my body, and people who care that I draw or I sing or I speak other languages. But it's very difficult for me to find that because I'm currently leading with sex.
Do you feel like that's just like a Band-Aid for your insecurities? Or?
Someone's breathing into the mic. I think it's you, Andrew. You're breathing into the microphone.
You're making me excited.
Oh, sorry. Go on. What?
I said, do you think it's like a Band-Aid for your insecurities? And are you hiding from something? Sometimes I get in.
I mean, I'm pretty open about hiding from the facts. I'm vulnerable and I want to be liked, and it's difficult. Those two things make it very difficult to put yourself in a situation with somebody else. I'm also so I just want so much for people to be authentic that it's hard to dig that out of people right away. I mean, I almost am true Italian genetic form. I mean, when I go in Italy, it makes much more sense how they date as opposed to we do. I mean, they're just immediately up front with how they feel. It's very like over the top. It's very dramatic. When they love, they love. When they're mad, they're mad. And I am more.
But then how do you know if you
that.
love someone immediately?
There's like two guys. I don't think you do love somebody immediately, but I think I'm just saying in terms of like they're lust, like they're just very expressive with their feelings, you know? I don't know. I mean, I go to Italy once a year and see my family, and I've just started recently going on dates when I go to Italy and stuff, and they're very.
Didn't you go out with a
very
guy
dramatic.
that hasn't come out yet?
Francesco.
Yeah, what happened with it?
Yeah, he just was dramatic. I met him on Tinder, and we met up at a little bar, and he was hiding in a shadow because he was afraid of being gay and being caught. And this one guy in Sicily this summer, I talked to him on Grindr, and he was so closeted that first of all, I was going to my cousin's wedding and I forgot to bring like a white buttoned up shirt. I did an Instagram live video. I never do Instagram live videos, but for some reason I was bored. I was in my hotel and I was like, whatever, I'll do one. And as I was talking, people ask you questions and someone goes, what are you going to wear to the wedding? So I grabbed my suit and show him, and I realized I didn't have a white button up shirt. So the guy I was talking to on Grindr messaged me on Instagram and said, I have a white button up shirt if you need one. I said, yeah. So he came up on a moped with 4 white shirts, 2 cigarettes for us, gave me a white buttoned up shirt. And it was so funny. And his accent was so thick and Sicilian. I'm Sicilian, but like I was like, you need to speak slower Italian. But I was like, thank you so much. And then we hung out that night, and he was horrified to like be seen. So I was at my aunt's apartment. Me and my sister were staying in my aunt's apartment for one night, and I like snuck him in, and he was so afraid. Like if the window opened, he's like, ah! Like he thought he was going to be like outed or something. And then this is how dramatic he was. He kept telling me how we had like just met, and he kept saying to me, I just want to like be with you, and you're so beautiful. And he took off his bracelet, which I'm sure was like $75 from H&M, and he gave it to me. He's like, you'll wear this, you'll remember me always, and texting me every day still. And Matteo, ti amo, che pensi tu? Sto aspettando per te. Just all this stuff, and it's like, I mean, it's so wild.
Did you blow him?
No, I did not blow him. Thanks, straight guy. No, we just messed around. I mean, he blew me for a little bit, but I was in no position in my aunt's bed to like blow him. So, no, I didn't blow him.
So if he's so dramatic with you, like
It's a little too dramatic. I mean,
too
it's gotta be
dramatic.
like a fine.
Yeah, so you don't.
You want to be the
Already,
dramatic
I'm
one.
going back on what I say.
Yeah.
I'm picky. I'll probably end up like.
What's your ideal man?
A handsome man that hates me. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I found that I'm very good at I have a very regiment life. I'm very good at keeping in a schedule. I'm very
What's a day in the life of Matteo?
well, just a lot of crying. No, I'm teasing. A lot of morning Joe and espresso. I live a very structured life. I'm very comfortable in a routine. And I think that comes from my training in opera and painting, where I know that I have to put in a certain amount of sacrifice to achieve what I want. So I barely drink. I don't go on dates. I make sure I get enough sleep. I go to the gym once a day because I like the routine. I like going. It makes me comfortable. I could afford to probably live a less regimented life and maybe like let loose every once in a while. But I have a very difficult time doing it. But I mean, I feel like I know the
do you
things.
enjoy it when you do let loose a little bit?
No, I actually don't. I enjoy being on stage.
Oh.
I enjoy being on stage. The goal is to keep getting me back on stage. I just love it. I love being around performers. I love conversation. And I know that sounds really gay and stupid, but I truly mean, like, I love sitting at a table and I love talking about any type of topic. I love talking and not so much arguing, but just sharing different opinions with people. My friends and I will go to a diner late at night, talk for hours. I mean, I'm more interested in that. I'm not so into like circuit parties, dancing. I'm just more into like talking and being on stage. And hopefully I can get back to oil painting.
So you just need someone that inspires you, or like
I think I just need someone who will just like me for the things I have to offer besides my looks.
do you find that to be a problem?
Yeah, but that's partly my problem because I am so insecure I lead with sex.
Right.
So then I know I feel validated by someone
And
who's
you lead
into
with
me
your looks.
sexually. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not so good, you know. I mean, looks are important to some extent, you know what I mean? Like I'd like if you were healthy. I like going to the gym. That's something I enjoy doing. I'd like you to be able to do the same thing, but
I like a guy with a little paunch, a little bell. You know.
yeah, but
that
it's so
way I
different
can
for
be the
straight people and women and I don't know.
two guys that are just very attractive. I think that'd be a lot. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah, I guess, but you know, I don't want a monster.
that's true.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I can be very I don't know. I have no idea.
Growing up, you grew up in Chicago, right?
Yes.
And your parents, when did you come out? Did you come out?
I
early?
came out when I was 19 to my friend Colleen. She was the first person I came out to. And then 21 to my
Oh.
family.
And you had did you date anyone in high school?
I mean, briefly, like a girlfriend here and there, but
Oh, you
nothing.
dated girls.
Yeah, I wasn't out.
Oh, you weren't? Yeah.
I mean, I was working at Michael's. Everyone should have known.
You were selling suits?
No, Michael's is
arts
a
and
craft.
crafts.
It's craft.
Did you think I'm at the men's warehouse? You thought I would work at the men's warehouse.
I could see it. I don't know. You're getting started. It's like a starter kit.
You'd be like,
You'll
I
get the
don't know,
Bloomingdale's
don't get anything
or
in
Saks
here.
one day.
I have a difficult time talking about that time in my life because even though I shouldn't be ashamed of it, it was so shame-based, everything I did.
Yeah.
Everything in my life was to hide who I was. And being discovered was like the worst thing. And so even now I'm out and open, I make jokes and this and that. Every time I talk about it, it is a difficult thing for me to talk about because I am going back to the place I was mentally then, which was not an easy time. It was a lot of self-loathing. It was a lot of self-doubt. And it was a lot of hate. I mean,
Yeah.
self-loathing, hate, same thing. But so it's difficult, even as like that. I think that's where most of my insecurities come from. Is just not for so long not being able to be proud of the things that I do, like drawing and singing. Like those weren't things to be proud of back then. I was called a faggot for them. So it's a difficult thing for me to accept compliments on things that I like to do now. That's probably what I like performing the most because I just wasn't able to do it for so long because I was made fun of.
But now you've transferred your self-loathing onto different things. Like,
Yeah, it's still there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed now about being gay and saying and speaking about that. And it's not that I'm ashamed about who I was then. It's that I'm feeling those feelings that I felt then. That's the problem. It's like those demons still haunt me, which is cool that kids can come out at like 7. You know what I mean? Or like
it on
they're
Instagram.
like 2 and they're like gay. You know what I mean? It's like, how are you?
And then the
so-
parents are like, I always knew
I
how you
know.
were with your toys.
I know.
I could
I hate
tell.
when people say that too. I knew before you.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
It's such
yeah.
a belittling thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get. I think that's where like people like say, "Oh, what are you so angry about?" I'm angry about a lot of things. It's a lot of anger towards like how people reacted towards my femininity when I was younger.
Did you try to,
makes
did
me
you
very
try to
mad.
hide the femininity? Like
You
when you were
try to
younger?
hide, but like try
You're
not
like, I
being.
love sports.
No, I mean I wasn't an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
I wasn't a hack. I wasn't a closeted gay hack.
You were able to like.
I was able to
maneuver.
mask it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an artist. Yeah, but it's difficult to talk to. People are very curious about it, and I'll answer questions, but it's not
Yeah.
easy for me to talk about.
your first date when you went out with was this like your first relationship? How long was your first relationship?
A year and a half, and then it was like a year and a half, and then we broke up, and then we got back together for a smidgen, and then we broke up, and then just for some reason we never spoke again.
Well, I feel like that's a good thing. Because didn't you say he was emotionally abusive?
Yeah, he was. I mean, I'm not emotionally abusive. Like, I wasn't like Tommy Mottola, Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't like
How old
sequestered
were
into
you
a
when you
house.
dated him?
22 to 24. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see how he's doing now. Not that I would need to, but I just don't think he's strong enough to I don't think he's emotionally strong enough to sit down and have that conversation. So, ironically, I was stronger always in that relationship, but I don't know.
Are your parents still together?
Yes,
That's nice.
they separated for a bit. Now they're back together.
Oh, what was that like?
Not good.
How old were you?
I was like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, it was recent. It wasn't like I was a kid.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How long were they separated?
I mean, maybe like half a year. It was a very short thing that happened, but
They
it was
lived in
very
separate
dramatic.
places?
And yeah, but it was a very dramatic thing. And then finally, my mom let him back in the house. And then I have not forgiven my dad, and I don't think I've forgiven my mom because my therapist says that I have subconsciously chosen my mom. I feel that my mother subconsciously chose my father over me in that battle, and so I feel like
What
there's
do
a
you
lot
mean?
of resentment there that I didn't want her to get back together with him, and she did. And now they're back together, and I have to like somehow piece together how I'm supposed to like my dad, but I just don't know if I like him.
I don't like my mom. I don't talk to her.
I
At
find
all.
that interesting.
Yeah, it's a rough road. And my dad cheated on my mom, but I've forgiven my father completely for
Yeah.
that. It's a very strange.
We will always lean towards one parent more than the other.
Yeah.
But I also my mother I never had any association. I feel like I was raised by my mom's family. My mom is Italian. She's also part Mexican. So I grew up on the same block as like all 22 of my first cousins.
lucky.
And we're
That's
all the
nice.
same age. Yeah, my aunts, my uncles. I saw my grandparents 3-4 times a week. I mean, it was a very like my big fat Greek wedding type lifestyle. And my dad's family I saw his parents 5 times my whole life. And I have
Your entire life.
yeah, I have 4 cousins on that side, and we saw each other only once a year, if that. I mean, we went like 7 years without seeing my cousins on my dad's side.
Why?
Where my mom's side, I talk to my cousins every single day. I still talk to them every single day. So I'm just like kind of resentful even then. And, just like, I don't really know who he is. And now I'm an adult and I'm finding success, and it's like, oh, he wants to be my friend. And it's like, well, you didn't do a really good job of raising me, so I don't really know what I owe
Why
you.
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
I'm
also
Eminem.
growing.
Yeah.
Is it
your
always
father.
this serious, or you try and make it more funny?
No, it's
No,
just,
it's whatever, wherever
See
it
how
goes.
insecure I am? I'm like, oh, I should be funny.
I mean,
you
it'd
don't
be
have to-
nice if you made me laugh.
Anything else you'd like me to do for you?
Your
It'd be
hair
nice
could
if
be
you-
a little bit
It'd be nice
more
if
to
you
the
told me what I was walking into.
I think this is
Didn't
great.
even tell me what
that
the
it was
podcast was
because
about.
I didn't, yeah, no, we've talked about it before.
No.
We've talked. You've asked me.
Our
a couple
podcast.
times.
So we started
I
this
think-
because I have been married 3 times. I've been engaged.
How old
7.
are you?
I'm 36.
Why are you married 3 times?
I'm from Michigan.
Girl, where in
know.
Michigan are you
Engaged
from?
7.
Engaged 7.
Engaged? What are you, Elizabeth Taylor?
I want to be.
So what are you,
She's my
just
hero.
falling in love really hard?
I've only been in love once.
She needs
But
insurance.
then, so where do the 7 engagements come from?
I just say yes.
Why? Why are you so agreeable
I'm
to
a-
something you know is not
I'm
going to
a
work out?
people pleaser. And then all of a sudden I panic and I leave. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't, I gotta go.
So what are your plans to nix this for the future?
No plans.
Do you see a therapist?
I used to.
What made you stop?
I just felt like I was good.
Do you believe that? Or?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I find that interesting because I share the same feelings as you, but I don't even get into the relationship to begin with.
I'm comfortable in relationships. I feel like I'm a better person in relationships. I feel
Or
like
is it because you have to worry less about yourself?
yes.
So you're just
100%.
afraid to be alone.
Not anymore. I think in the last few months I've been
no, you have a
lot
dog
better.
and a bike.
Yes, I have a dog and a bike now.
Okay.
So I'm good.
Am I saying too much? Am I prying
No.
too much?
No,
I mean,
no,
I
no.
figured
We've-
this is the
we've
topic
said
of
every-
conversation.
Yeah,
we've
we've
said
said this
everything.
stuff, but
Okay.
I'm good. I like regular sex with one person. I'm pretty boring.
That's
in
something
that.
I think is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I just don't want to live with them. So if I
Living with people, especially in New York City,
Because it's
difficult.
very tight. Yeah.
I had a roommate for 1 month, a month and a week, and I wanted to murder him. I let him sleep on my couch, and I was like, "You have to get the fuck out of here."
See, I'm very my mother raised me codependent, and I didn't even realize it because there was always so many people with me all the time that I want to just be around people all the time. And I live alone right now, and I just have I lived with Evan Williams and his wife for 2 years.
You did?
I did,
I
and
love
Evan's my
Evan.
best friend, and we never fought ever. I mean, like maybe one. I mean, it really was a perfect situation. Like energy wise, we all got along, but I would just like. me and Felicia, she's Mexican and has a more similar background to me growing up. Everyone was wildly independent, always left alone. Get just very different than me and Felicia.
Yeah.
And I would always want to just be next to I just found myself like if everyone's watching TV, even if I'm not watching, I'll be on my phone. I just want to be next to someone on the couch. And same with Felicia because I'm just so used to it subconsciously. There's always a cousin around. You know what I mean? Like if I'm at my house and my brother and sister were gone, well then I would go to my Aunt Cindy's house and just be with them. Like there was just always people with me. So I'm like learning how to be independent and living by myself.
Now.
It's been quite an
Time
adjustment.
goes very long when you're alone, right? Like you have a
Slowly.
lot of time to think about.
Well, I listen
yourself
to music and podcasts and I'm a
That's
little
not a
too addicted
human.
to my
Yeah.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I refresh Instagram too much, but I don't go. It's not like I don't go on Facebook. I find it too stressful. I go on Twitter to like tweet jokes or read the news, and then I go on Instagram just to like catch up on how Mariah Carey's vocals are doing.
And how many likes you're getting on your little butt?
I've stopped with that because it's just when you post a picture, then it just keeps. It's a lot.
Yeah, you have a lot of followers.
I do. So
Yeah.
you have to let it go, and then you come back to it and be like, oh, cool, 8,000 people like this photo.
Did you feel the same way when you had 26 likes? Do you think there's a difference between your happiness, or does it bring happiness to you? The attention.
I don't know if it's for the attention. I mean, I definitely, some of it's for the attention. I mean, some of it's for like, here's my butt. I mean, I also think it's really funny that I like being naked. That I don't have an issue with, But I also post my oil paintings and my drawings and my singing and stuff. It was so funny though because I was interviewed with this gay magazine and they like 4 of the questions were like about my butt, about my nakedness, about this, about that. Finally, I just said, I'm like, just to let you know, I'm a classically trained opera singer and painter, and I have put all of those up on my Instagram, including the fact that I have whistle tones. I was like, but let's keep going back to my butt. Yeah. And then their next question was like, what do you think about the allegations against Louis C.K.? I'm like, we went from my butt to Louis C.K. in this conversation. That's how I answer the question.
What got you into opera singing? I mean,
I
you're
wanted
Italian.
to prefer, and not even because I'm Italian.
Andre Bocelli?
Yeah, I'm blind. No, my grandpa's blind, so he's
Is
like
he?
Andre Bocelli, but he just can't sing and
Andre
keeps running
Bocelli
into
fell
walls.
off a horse.
That's how he went blind?
That's how he went blind.
Just for a horse?
Yeah, fell
How
off a
old is he
horse.
when he went blind?
I think younger. I don't
Because
know.
I wonder if he trained blind or if he could see.
Google?
Oh, why does seeing help your singing? Well, I would think.
I don't think it helped. I mean,
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder to me is one of the
Or
greatest
Ray
singers
Charles.
of all time.
Yeah.
Ray Charles is a great musician. I wouldn't put him up there with like Stevie Wonder. Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder is like
If we're going blind black guy, it's Stevie Wonder.
blind anybody.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Stevie Wonder's Instagram.
I don't
The
think.
most.
Oh my god.
Does he really have an Instagram?
He goes, he's like just a black, just like a fuzzy nothing. It's like, this reminds me.
No,
of
he
it."
does
Yes,
really.
it's
Is that
the
real?
funniest
Yeah, someone
shit.
does like a
It's
hack.
the funniest.
Oh.
You know what's funny though is like because whatever if you grow up around someone who has some type of disability, that disability no longer seems strange to you.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you'll see like people just don't know what mannerisms they're supposed to have if someone is walking with 2 crutches or you know what I'm saying. Like people just don't like how do I respond or not that you have to respond in any way.
Talk slower.
But right. But when I see people who are blind, I always run up to them. Like if they're walking the street, I just go up and say,
Push them
I do. I push them off the edge.
into the subway every time.
Yeah.
Just like Grandpa.
Yeah.
So no, but I'm sorry. But yeah, you have your
Oh, you
Grandpa.
care about the real answer?
Yeah, I do.
No, I do. I walk up and I say, excuse me, I just want to ask, do you know where you're going? And they'll say, yeah, yes or no. Or sometimes say, I'm looking for this. And then I'll say, you need to go this direction.
Do you tell them
Oh,
you have a
that's
nice
nice.
ass?
And I make sure they know. I put their hand on my ass and say, this one's on me.
Do you sing in the shower?
I sing everywhere.
Could you sing something right now? Like,
I don't really feel like singing right now.
I'm so
I'm
curious.
still bitter.
Give me like 20 seconds.
No.
No, don't tell him what to do.
Could you shut the fuck up?
He likes telling people what
He
to
wants
do.
to cast you, I'm sure.
Oh,
in some
well,
What do
way.
you think?
not with this chicken. But yeah,
He
I don't
sings
know.
opera. He sings
Yeah, I'm
everything.
curious, man.
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty
Opera's
amazing.
a lot. It's not like he's a folk singer.
Well, I trained in opera, but then you move
Do you
on.
know
Like,
Shilling Joint?
I don't.
Oh.
But also, God bless you.
Do you like? Are you like a cabaret singer also?
No, I would say, I mean, cabaret in the sense of like, Sarah, like Liza Minnelli.
No, just a cabaret singer.
No, I mean, I would
sing
say my
classic.
voice more moves towards, I mean, I'm classically trained, and then it would probably be somewhere in between of like jazz and maybe like standard-esque. But I mean, I have a very big voice, so my voice sounds very Broadway-esque, and I also love vibrato. But, I'm doing a Christmas show Monday at the Club Cummings on at 7 o'clock.
Is Amber coming in?
No, she's not here this year. Melissa Villasenor is taking her place.
Oh, I love
And so we're gonna
Melissa.
sing. Yeah, and she's got an amazing voice.
She really does.
People who can imitate tend to be able to sing better. Because singing is kind of imitation. I mean, you're just trying to move your muscles to match the sound you hear.
We used to have to go to church twice a week with my mom.
Twice a week?
I went every day, but Saturday.
Why?
With my parents
happened on
twice a week.
Saturday?
What
You got a
denomination
day
are
off.
you?
Catholic. I went to Catholic school, so we had to go every day.
Oh, that's
8 to
right. So you
8:30.
went to, yeah.
So my mom would
Are you
always,
Irish?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. She would always sing with vibrato, and I was like, "Stop it!"
Your mother
Well,
was?
there's certain
Oh my
types
God,
of
she's just like,
vibrato.
So you're like, "Shut up!"
Stop
I
trying
love
so hard.
vibrato. You get a good vibrato. Best vibrato would be like a young Barbra Streisand is a perfect vibrato. Liza always had almost a wobble. I mean,
Yeah.
she was almost doing a trill, but she had Liza had.
Mom was just shaking her head. I think.
Was she?
A lot of.
Vibrato's a difficult thing to do. I mean, nothing in singing is ever easy. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so funny. Like if I sing something, whenever you hear singers, like it takes years to get there, and the muscles and the movement and the training and the reflexes and the breathing and people just sort of like, that's nice. Anyways,
But could you sing initially? Did you feel like you were a good singer
yes,
before
well,
you
off the bat, I
started?
was very much a born singer.
See, that's the thing. If you're shit as a singer, to have the balls to like.
It's the same way with
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. It's like
Yeah.
you are either born with it or you're not. And if you're not born with it, you can work, you can train, you can do all this
Yeah.
stuff. It just will lack.
I was watching YouTube videos of how to sing because I feel like I want to learn how to sing now.
It's too late.
You think? Why is it too late? Though?
Your muscles
I'll live
are
for another 20
Your muscles are. How old are you?
Huh? 37.
It's too late.
Yeah, you're gonna,
Why? I've been humming this month. They say hum for a month.
Humming.
So I'd be like,
let me,
No. It's just not good. But can you do like a vocal warm up real quick? Like a simple vocal warm up?
it's the scariest
Give him
thing
one
for
to
me.
do, Matteo.
Let's hear you.
give him something.
I just want to hear a straight tone.
All right, I'll try my hardest.
I just want to look.
I will try my hardest.
because I want to just do la. I want to watch your. I just want to watch all the
I
way
don't
your
wanna watch.
muscles are.
I don't think
moving.
I've ever felt more nervous in my life.
Go.
La, wait.
That was the note. So you hit the note.
La, no, that's bad.
That might be
That's
too
bad.
high. So maybe your bass.
La,
You went lower. Let's
La.
go. Listen.
La.
Do
He's
that.
so good though. La.
Yeah, it's just a few couple things you could do. One, you're not supporting the breath, so that's a problem. So the note won't be able to last long. And then when you don't have breath support, you won't be able to control the sound. You see what I'm saying?
It's so scary for me,
And
I'm
also-
not like really scared.
Also, a quick thing for you to know: when you sing, you are resonating the sound within your mouth before it exits. Okay?
Okay.
So think of your mouth as like when you look at an opera house, it's
Yeah.
shaped that way so that the sound carries.
Okay.
So don't hold the sound in. So you have to open the mouth. Don't look like an asshole.
Yeah.
You have to open the mouth. Take two
just
fingers
practicing.
and go like that.
I'll do 3.
That's three is unnecessary. There you go. Your mouth should be that open regardless when you're trying to produce the sound, especially if you're not a professional, so that you can start to feel the sound moving from here to there. You're just breathing. You're here up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you have to be breathing from literally your diaphragm to support the breath because you're going. So everything is coming from here as opposed to. I mean, it's closer, but you don't want to be pushing. You're pushing here to. You don't want to project the sound.
You fucking
You just
idiot.
want to support the sound.
Wait.
It's almost equivalent to go. Just do this and away from the mic. Just go. Whoa!
Whoa!
That is more of your natural placement of singing. That, as opposed to feeling like I have to do this with the voice. You don't. You know what I mean? When you're going, whoa, when you're going, whoa. I mean, that's more.
What? No,
It's
no.
almost more. It sounds.
Whoa!
See, you tried to control it and then it went bad
Yeah,
again.
it's like you can't control. You do it, you son of a bitch.
I just never said I wanted to be a singer.
Singing is a difficult thing, and then you have to go from that to your scales, and then you do chromatic scales. I mean, it gets difficult. It's very hard.
But I would like to learn. I think
If
The
you saw a
Housewives of
voice
Beverly
teacher,
Hills,
you-
Erica does them on, and I love her.
does she?
I love my life.
Why don't you sing a song that you know?
That's what I'm thinking.
that
Like
you
No.
Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
No, because there's no singing in that. That's like words. It's too.
And then
A, B,
a
C,
hero
D.
comes along.
You're gonna start with Mariah
Oh,
Carey.
God. I know.
You're gonna start with one of the greatest singers of all time.
I will always love
no.
you.
I gotta.
It's pretty bad.
My Uber's here.
Me and Mara, we sang a
Yeah,
song together.
We sing.
We sang
do.
Garth Brooks. The dream is like
A
a
river.
river,
Ever changing as it flows. That one.
and the dream is just a vessel
that
that
must follow where it goes.
trying to.
You hit the same note every time.
Yeah. I know.
To him, I'm not going to you.
Thank you. And
I'm
I'm not
being a
trying to be
real
a
bitch on this
I know,
No,
I'm
this
like,
is really fun.
I'm enjoying
it's fun.
it.
No, I really like.
this is a lot of fun.
So, do you think I could learn?
No. I think you could go to lessons and like learn to control it better. But I mean, do I think you're gonna walk out after a year
Yeah.
of voice lessons and be a singer? No.
What
But-
if he wanted to do it just for funsies? That's
Do whatever
fine.
you'd like for fun.
Yeah.
Did you have teachers when you were younger?
Yeah, 2 teachers. I had one, Joanne, who was a real cunt, and I learned how to breathe with her. She was very, very like, I was in a straitjacket with her. And then I moved to a much better teacher named Nick Falco, who allowed me to explore more with my voice. But I was also like a 15-year-old. My voice has been almost sounded the same since I was like 16.
Yeah.
I just started with a big voice.
Do you want to do Broadway?
No, because I don't like musical theater people. I mean, I also don't, the reason I got into comedy is because it was the easiest outlet for me to be able to do all these things that I want to do. So I can do a one-off singing show. I can sing in this. I can do that. And it just like serves me better than trying to do it. It just allows me to do it on my own way. And then if people like it, then you get the offer from there, as opposed to like going into casting calls and auditioning and stuff. None of it. I don't like, I know it sounds.
People judging you.
Not so much that. I don't like the power struggle.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just do it myself, and then when someone likes it, move from there. But I mean, I'm fine. I'm doing a Christmas show, and I keep doing my vocal warm-ups, and and it helps if I don't drink and, watch your voice. Sleep helps. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I got home at 3 last night.
Ooh, party animal.
Where were you?
I was at the cellar.
Oh.
Well, it
Any
was a big night.
drop-ins?
Yes, Kevin Hart. Right before I went up, Kevin Hart decided
How much time did
to
he
drop
do?
in. He was great. Him and Judd Apatow went up and did almost 30 minutes
This
together.
is
maybe
our
more
third
than
night
that.
in a row, I think, that they've been dropping in. Because
I think Kevin's prepping for SNL.
Oh, okay.
He's doing a monologue. And then I went up, and it was so much fun because you're rolling off that energy,
Mm-hmm.
the excitement of the audience. So it was then I'm adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And then Adrian Appalucci went on stage, and Jeff Ross joined her. And then they went up and were doing almost a half hour. And then there was a piano. So Jeff decided he wanted to sing and goes, Matteo, get up here. So then I went up and then sang some weird blues song with
How
Jeff.
fun.
It was the most fun. I mean, it was I was laying in bed just can't sleep, can't go to sleep, can't get to sleep, can't get to sleep.
God, that's
I feel really
awesome.
bad I came in so angry, guys. I told you
No,
this is going to happen to me.
it's
Now my
fine.
Italian guilt. I feel like a total asshole.
No.
I
That's
feel like
great.
this was a great podcast.
All
I feel
right.
like
As
you
long
were
as you
very-
guys, we're not,
you were
I'm not
actually
saying we're
very,
ending it, but
No,
You're very vulnerable with us,
I'm vulnerable with my bus driver. I mean, I really have to.
but you just
reel
can't
it
be
in
with
every
another
once in a while.
person.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Find an Italian, speak Italian the rest of my life, and cook pasta.
There's that show where black ladies go to Italy and
Excuse.
Why?
it's a real show. It's black women and they go to Italy to find love.
Anytime you say
Why is everyone
a race,
rushing to Italy to find love? I just watched Master of
Well,
None.
you said you got 4
and it
fucking
said,
white
"Ma io
shirts.
sono italiano."
Oh, yeah.
So it's just I'm going back home. I'm not
No.
I'm not romanticizing Italy.
Yeah, but 4 white button downs on a moped. I mean, that's
That's true.
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That's like out of a movie. That's like.
What color was his moped?
His moped was black and red.
Did he let
Oh,
you keep
I was
the
thinking
button
blue.
down? Because
No, I give it back. I give
he
it back.
had 4 of them.
One
I
of
can't believe he brought 4.
Because he wanted me to fit the right size. He's gay. He knows. One of them had a collar with like a design on it, and I just think it's so funny that the word that the Italians use to say like they like him, like che elegante, like elegant kind of. You know what I mean? And it sounds strange for like a straight, tall Italian man to be like, ma che elegante, la camicia tu. Like it just is so weird. And then because I'm on TV, they keep saying, instead of famous, when I'm not famous, but instead of saying like whatever you would say, they kids, you are VIP. VIP. And I was like, VIP is like something like trashy people do when
Yeah.
they go
It's
to
like
a
when they
club,
club.
and then they go, like you need
red
They're a
rope,
VIP.
red rope around
ma
you.
tu sei VIP. Okay.
Famioso would be nice.
Famoso.
Or famoso. I tried. I went for it.
I love that I tried getting you to sing.
I know. I really want to learn. I
think you
watched
should
2
do
different
it.
videos. I
Well,
know.
you also have to like know your voice placement.
That's why I got into stand up to eventually sing. That's why I did it.
You're like
I
a
knew-
real young Barbara Streisand. I couldn't become an actress, so I started singing.
And now she's on Twitter, and she's great.
I love her. And who's great on Twitter is Cher.
Yeah, Cher,
Dyslexic
yeah.
as fuck and just tweeting at the world. My bones aren't up to snuff. I mean, I just saw her in Vegas.
Yeah.
And a whole ass is hanging out. And if you want to talk about appropriation, I mean, Cher is killing it. I mean, she
Yeah.
is doing horrible things, but everyone's like, it's Cher. I mean, she came down in an afro and then switched to Indian garb. And not Indian as in Native American, Indian as in from India.
Yeah.
Doing Indian moves. And then I literally was going to the bathroom as she was changing for half breed, and I heard, oh! I was like, Cher! But everyone was like, it's Cher.
Yeah.
You know, she's in her early hundreds.
Well,
what are you
Sonny
going to do?
died, so she
Oh,
gets
you
a
left
pass.
me, you son of a bitch. She talked about Sonny a lot. She did like
Still.
20 minutes of stand up.
We should get her on the show.
My mother looked a
She'd
lot like
come.
her when she was younger.
Is your mom Armenian?
Jewish.
Yeah. Jews and Italians, Armenians,
Yeah.
Greeks.
Oh, is Cher Armenian?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
She's not Native American. Everyone thinks she is. She's not.
she just has long, straight hair.
I need Boniva. She walked a lot.
Do you
She
watch a lot of
walked
old
a lot.
movies?
on stage.
I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't really like movies.
So you get all these things from just YouTube clips of like old movies?
I watch a lot of interviews. I'm very fascinated by interviews with people I love. And people I love are like Fran Lebowitz, Gloria Steinem, Christopher Hitchens, Howard Stern, Maria Callas. I'm interested in very extreme personalities who are absolutely determined. They know exactly how they feel and they do not budge. I'm fascinated by people like that. Doesn't mean I always agree with them, but I love them. Like
They
Christopher
just
Hitchens.
around yes people too much that they just
No.
never
That's
get-
not. They're, as a matter of fact, there's the opposite of that. They're not around.
Yeah.
They're just so intelligent. They know where they stand. It's like the sign of a good stand-up. A good stand-up isn't someone who feels like I can agree with this, but I can also agree. They're not. Stand-ups are not agreeable people.
Yeah.
They're people who feel a certain way and don't budge. They have a point of view. So I like people who have really strong sense of self and
even
point
if
of
it's
view.
wrong.
Yeah. I mean, there's times I don't agree with Christopher Hitchens. I find him fascinating. I find him very funny because it's so funny to watch someone like him talk to people who are so in the matrix, in the norm, I'm just going to answer and talk. I'm going to ask the questions the way I'm supposed to answer questions. I'm going to answer the questions the way I'm supposed to answer them. People are just so playing by the script. And Christopher Hitchens would just derail these people.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to watch. It is so fun to watch because if you think about it in conversation, it's like, why aren't we having real conversations with people? Who are we pleasing by putting on this sort of phony script everyone talks to each other?
That's
Like-
who you need to be with, a Christopher Hitchens.
Well, he died of esophageal
I said
cancer.
A.
Oh, A. Well, Fran Lebowitz
He
to
has a
me is
brother.
my. It's so funny because his brother's a real piece, like a pip, 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 pip. But I love Fran Lebowitz. She's another one.
Do you like Russell Brand?
I do.
Yeah.
I actually was turned off by him at first. I found him kind of obnoxious. I was just like, with the shirts and the.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to him interviewed lately, and he's made some very good appearances, like on Bill Maher, and he went on the Joe Rogan show. He's very smart, and I think he's evolved into someone who. I think he's evolved into a really great person. I love listening to him talk. I love people who are really I'm not so good with the English language. I love people who really can craft complicated and thoughtful sentences just like that because they're so good with the English language. I should probably read more. That'll help.
Yeah.
Yes, it does help.
I like very slow speakers that can't.
I
are
hate
dumb.
slow talkers.
Dumb as fuck. That's what I like. I like
really-
a dumb as fuck
I
now.
really am bothered by people who talk too slow.
Why,
I get
though?
angry because I'm just.
But that's on you.
I know. I absolutely know
Yeah.
it. I used to work with this guy when I was still storyboarding TV commercials.
Yeah.
And he was another artist, and he was so everything.
Get it
was
out!
And I wanted to shake this man to death.
Yeah.
I also grew up around like ballsy Italian Mexican women who just had an answer for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just used to people talking that way. And I can't, I'm like, who would ever sit and listen to you talk? Your conversations must take 3 times longer.
So funny. I was
They
like,
can still be thoughtful conversations, if
It's
even
by the time they
regardless
get
of
to
the
the
tempo.
thought, I'm over.
yeah.
I'm out.
I grew up in
I
the
don't care.
opposite. My mom was in her room, never talking.
My mom was always like screaming, so I was
Yeah,
like,
and my
I
dad
don't know
was
what you're
yelling
saying.
a lot or not listening. Yeah. It was,
Are
Yeah, I
your
never was
parents
listening.
divorced?
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way with that description that they're still together.
no, they're very separate.
And then, and do they speak to each other?
No, they hate each other a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that bother?
And
I mean, I know
still-
you're
yeah.
37, but does that bother you?
Yeah, I'm going back to Florida this weekend or next weekend, and my dad's already upset about how my mom paid for the tickets and how we're staying there and not.
Do your
going to
parents
see
have
him.
money? I know that's a rude question.
Yes,
they do.
they do.
Okay. So, who do you lean towards more? Like, who do you call more?
I'm literally like right in the middle. I don't call either, really. that
Really?
much, yeah. But I love
Really?
them more.
But you're close with your brother.
I'm close with my brothers. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not close with my step fam. My dad remarried. I'm closer with my dad now, though, than I was as a kid.
I find that happens with a lot of straight guys. The older they get, the more they can.
Well, the dad changes. The dad is a grandpa now.
Right.
And now he has two
I was gonna
two
say,
grandsons.
I feel like it happened
and
within the last couple of years. You've even gotten
He's
closer.
softened?
Yes,
my dad.
you
Or
and your
me.
dad's relationship.
Yeah, my dad has become a grandfather. He went through he had cancer. He was a
What
cancer
kind-
doctor.
what kind of cancer?
Breast cancer. He
Your
had to
dad had breast
He had to
cancer?
get his boob removed.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Is he
so-
overweight?
He had titties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Yeah, they
Yeah.
were nice. They were nice. They were sweet. pretty good, pretty big nipples, but
Yeah.
whatever. I'm worried about, honestly, because I have like, whatever, a chest. I feel like I'm more susceptible to tumors.
breast cancer?
Yeah, so I'm going to, I don't know. I got to get rid of my tits.
I'll go to the gym and eat better.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be drinking what you're drinking right now.
Why? This is no sugar.
I mean, it's not natural.
Oh. Well, it's
It's
Canada
flavored
Dry.
with natural flavors.
Yeah, you should just be having water.
Have you ever used a bidet?
Oh, yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
No, because
who doesn't
we're
like a clean asshole? What are you talking about?
This is
I
the
know.
best. Yeah, that's a,
You don't like a clean?
No, I
if
love it.
And if I douche, I have too much. If I'm walking around with a clean inside and out, it is too much power. There are times I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna get fucked. So you douche, and you don't. When you take the enema, you have to empty out what's in there. You don't want the saline. You refill it with room temperature water, and just sort of get out what you need. And then, it's like you have. I'll sit on anything with a point or an edge to it.
Do you
I mean,
have a
you have to. It's like this is so rare.
Do you have a bidet at your house?
I live in New York City.
No,
we have
so-
a fucking bidet in my
we
house.
both have bidets.
What?
Yeah, no,
I
you
know.
could.
I don't live this life.
Okay.
I don't
First
have
of
that
all,
kind of money.
If you go to Hello Tushy, we have a sponsor.
We have a sponsor.
Oh,
It's
you bunch of
bidets.
faggots.
No, but we're not. But no, but seriously, you just add it to. It's $70.
They're actually
you can just
super
add
cheap.
It to it's great.
I'm not adding anything to my toilet.
Why?
I'll step in the shower.
You just said how much you love a bidet and a
Yeah,
nice
but
douche.
a bidet that's a real bidet. I'm not taking something,
Oh
picking
no,
it up
no,
and
you
putting it
don't
on my
even know.
toilet.
No, it stays there.
stop it.
No,
Oh.
it stays
Stop
there.
that
It stays.
dog.
It stays
Oh.
on. You attach it.
It's unbelievable.
It's the best. It is
If you
the
go
best.
to Hello Tushy, not me.
Not
I'm not
me.
good with advertising.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
funny.
Richard Simmons here. To
First of all, you just said you like a bidet.
a
You just
bidet,
don't want to
a
do
real
the-
bidet, not a portable bidet.
It's not portable. It's attached.
It's not like you're sitting. It's not like a separate little, like a little
It's not like a
shitter
little
that a
kid's-
kid uses.
I think. Come over.
I would rather not wash my asshole in your toilet.
You are really fucking up this ad.
Well, you
God
can
damn it.
erase it and go
No,
over
no,
again.
it's great.
No,
it's
no,
great.
no, it's so
But if
good.
you do seriously use our
As you
passcode,
start controversy, people will be more likely to look it up.
It's
Yeah.
so good. It's
there.
it's great.
It
And
is
the promo code is Happy Butthole.
yeah,
I mean, real subtle.
yeah.
How am I ranking guest-wise on your show?
Out of 100,
Just out of all the other guests, am I at least doing well?
I would say your top 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's not say things we can't take
Absolutely.
back. I just don't want to. I can't
I
talk
thought-
about
I
my
thought-
hair.
I
I was
thought-
so upset.
I just want to know, do you douche every time right before you fuck?
Not every time. I mean, I also wish I was having more sex, but like in a relationship, because your body's maybe more used to like having sex, you risk it. But I've never had a moment of like just like diarrhea flying out of there. It's not like a sewer. But yeah, like if I'm gonna like have sex with a guy, I want to feel clean. It's not that difficult of a process. I mean, I know it's like straight people are very fascinated by it, but for the gays, in, out, shower, let's go.
All right.
Jessica told me, I told her that I was a little constipated. She goes, "Oh my gosh, go to a sex shop. They have right there. You can just get it." And I was like,
What
you
do
can
you get?
also
Oh, the
get it from
douche?
a.
Oh, go to Dwayne Reed.
Dwayne Reed.
I prefer CVS so I can just check out by myself.
Yes.
I don't understand why Dwayne Reed
What is
or
it? An enema?
Walgreens.
What is it?
It's an enema,
Yeah,
right?
it's an enema.
So you
it's
put
like
it up your butt?
It's like a
yeah, like a-
plastic, and
and
it's
you
got
squirt it
saline
up,
water.
right?
It's
Yeah.
almost looks like a ketchup bottle with a
Right.
really long.
Okay.
And you just put the long part up your ass and squeeze water in,
Right.
and then sit on the toilet and let it out.
Oh, you put it up your ass.
The place
No,
where I
but you
get
don't put it-
frozen.
you don't put it. Yeah, of course. What do
Yeah.
you mean? You're not drinking
It's
it.
not that big a deal.
It's an enema.
I know. I'm not. Like,
You have a colonoscopy ever?
yeah, I did.
So you must
But I
have
have a
done
bad butthole.
What do you mean you have a bad butthole?
Why do you get
I've had all
colonics?
the bad things. I have a fissure. I had a fissure. I had polyps, tubular polyps. I'm dying.
What are you eating?
Huh? Pussy. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing.
He thought he had AIDS for 17 years.
Well, yeah.
And he never
I
got
did.
fucked.
Yeah, that's true.
If you
I
thought
got-
for 17 years you have AIDS, you'd be dead.
I know, but I thought
So-
I kept.
and it's
I
also
thought I kept getting it over and over again. I know.
You need to educate yourself
I know,
on what it is.
I know. It's. I got an HIV test when I was a virgin.
I just got
And
one
that was-
today.
Yeah.
Did you listen to this?
I heard him.
Yeah. And then I never got. I had sex with a lot of promiscuous women. I don't know why I said that word.
Were you using
Lips.
condoms?
Yes and no.
So that means no. Okay.
Yes, with the very promiscuous, but there were a couple times where I.
This is all in Florida?
Well,
Florida.
How do you know if
Florida's
they're
dirty.
very promiscuous or not?
I smelled them.
Where are you from?
Michigan,
Oh, that's right. Where in Michigan? I forgot. already.
between Grand Rapids
You're
and
ridiculous.
north by Traverse City.
Okay.
Way up there.
Chicago.
Yeah, across the
You know,
water.
my whole family's from Chicago.
Where?
Skokie.
Where? Oh, you're so Jewish.
I know. My
Yeah.
parents live in. My uncle lives in Glencoe.
yeah, Glencoe.
Yeah.
Because I grew up.
My mom's
I-
from Skokie.
I'm about a 15-minute drive from Skokie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're right north of O'Hare Airport. So we're a little more west from Skokie. We're almost directly west from Skokie.
Do you miss Chicago?
I miss my cousins
Yeah.
and my aunt. I miss my family, my mom, my dogs.
If
But
your career went exactly how it would go, where would you want to be in like 10
New York
years?
City.
In New York
Oh,
City.
I'll live here till I die.
Yeah.
New York City or Rome. Yeah. I think Chicago, I had this feeling inside me like I felt like I was missing out on something. I always had the feeling of I'm missing out on something. What am I missing in life? And nothing was filling that void. And then when I found stand up, it hit me. Really, I did stand up for the first time. I was like, this is my life. And then, even then, I did it only for 8 months in Chicago. And I thought, I'm still not getting enough out of this. I'm a very, I want to consume. That's the kind of personality I am. If I like something, I consume it. And I don't do anything but that.
You don't get tired of it.
No. And then I got to New York for my job. I was illustrating. And the first day I moved here, I went to an open mic. And I was doing 3 to 4 open mics a night. I would go to work an hour early so I could leave an hour early. I mean, I was truly obsessed.
Yeah, I remember when you came. I still, at the creek, I remember seeing
Yes.
you the first time.
Yeah.
The creek, baby.
The creek.
I would
Yeah.
sing that.
Yeah, you would
I
sing.
would sing.
That was
but
it.
it was a way to get. There were so many people to go through to get attention.
It was- yeah.
that I was like, if I do this, then people will at least remember me because there's nothing worse in life than being forgetful or being boring. So I was like, okay, then
And your
I will.
set is like no one else.
Oh, thank you so much. Turning into Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, but it feels you're very different on stage now.
You
I
are.
feel, or at least last time I saw you,
I've grown
very
a lot.
conversational.
Yes. I was coming at first I came on it was like fireworks. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was like Mariah impressions and Christina and singing and it was just like I just was like the message I was really saying was look at me.
Yeah.
I was very, but then, that only goes so far. And when you have to do more than 6 minutes, then I had to do a lot of catch up because I caught on pretty quickly. And then it was like, I had this 6 minutes and it was like, oh my God, I need to like, you like get to a certain level and you're like, oh, I have to like catch up and figure this out, figure that out. And then I went like almost like a year without singing once on stage. It was all just jokes. Now I'm finding my way back. I'm finding my way like, okay, balance those two and have fun when you need to. But I actually watch, I was doing this Keith and the Girls show where they wanted you to watch your very first set ever. So I went back to watch some of my older sets.
Horrifying.
And I was actually kind of like, I thought it was very charming.
Well, you're naive at that point.
I was just, I was watching, I was like, I think I was like pretending to be Ellen. You know what I mean? Like I was using her mannerisms a lot because that was like the first idea of what stand-up was to me was Ellen DeGeneres. So I think
oh God, her conversations with God is like
she's
unreal.
Very misdirection.
She's the best. But now I would say I'm like legitimately myself on stage.
Yeah.
I'm very like last night was one of the best sets I've ever had. I mean, I'm very like knock on wood, like very happy
Are you in
right now.
Jumanji 2 now?
I am. I'm playing the alligator. The bitchy alligator. But I'm just very, very myself now on stage. If I'm not in a good mood, I will not be in a good mood on stage. If I'm in a great mood, I'll be even more in a great mood. And I think both can serve you well. I think being really pissed off can serve you well. It'll just be a different tone to the set. But, and there's times I'm just like really happy. And so that comes out and then that just changes the tone of the set. But I don't believe in like, I'm going to forget who I am and then go on stage and be the star. And like, I believe that you really I believe people will be more inclined to listen to you and engage with you if you're really giving them who you are.
Your authentic
and sometimes
self.
that's not like I said, you're not always in a good mood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I try to be as natural
Like
as
when
I
you
can.
came in here, you were very yourself.
I was furious.
Yeah.
I learned that from Lisa Traeger and Drew Michael. I mean, the one thing in stand-up I think is really important is there's a lot of comics who just have the idea of what they want to be and they're never listening. And then they find themselves in a rut. And it's like you really have to listen to everyone around you because sometimes even if you feel you're the best, there's still something someone else can do that you can't do. And you should be listening to those people. And one of the things I've learned over the years, and I was in Montreal and we're doing the Just for Laughs festival and I went with Drew and Lisa. We were like in the same class and someone didn't do well in their set and Lisa and Drew were talking and I was so young at stand-up. I mean, they'd only been doing it for like 6 years at the time, but to me that was like an eternity. I was a year and a half in when I went to Montreal, which I think is too young. And they were saying, oh, it's better to wait. It's better to wait than to go too early. And I never forgot that. And they also taught me that you must be authentically yourself on stage. Authentically yourself. Because there's nothing worse than, well, what are you doing? You're getting on stage. That's a moment for you to express absolutely who you feel and what you are. And people just lie. They go up and they put on this act and it's like, why are you using a different voice when you're off stage and on stage? What is that about? Why? You know what I mean? So I really try to listen to that because I saw it serve them very well. And I picked up on that early on.
Yeah, I went out with David off too early. I featured for him a year and a half in. And then I did so horribly. And to this day, I cannot stop thinking about that. So I'm like,
It sucks because then it's in the back.
just-
Yeah.
But I never take bombings as a bad thing. I don't think that it's something to be ashamed about.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. And it's the same way. Anything in life, you work towards something, you're gonna have to fuck up. It's like any painter, like the Seurat painting, the dotted painting, and Ferris Bueller that they keep zooming up on. He did multiple versions of that same painting. That painting, which is all little dots. Everyone thinks he just sat there and put out a bunch of fucking dots and got the painting. He did multiple versions of that painting, which took multiple years to figure out that style of pointillism to get to that point to be Seurat. And it's the same thing with stand-up. You have to do multiple different sets to get to the set that you want. So you have to work towards the masterpiece. You can't just be the masterpiece every time. So I've been booed at AIDS events in Chicago and I've been booed here and I bombed there and it's good. That's a good thing that happened because then you won't make those mistakes again. So when you think back on it, you should think back on it happy. think, oh, that I really learned something that time, and I'll know next time I get on stage to not do the same thing.
Not do
now,
that.
if you keep getting on stage and doing the same thing, okay, well then you haven't learned.
Yeah.
But I would say never feel bad about a bombing. I feel like they're absolutely fine to do. I don't even feel bad about them. If I bomb, it's almost socio. If I bomb, I almost feel nothing. I just feel, okay, I'll rethink about what I did wrong when I'm on my way home and then make sure to not do that again next time. And what was my mentality? And normally a bombing for me is what was my mentality before I walked on that stage? It has nothing to do when I'm on the stage. It was what was I feeling right before I went on stage? And a lot of times it's because it's my fault.
Yeah. I don't know. I've crushed every time.
Yeah.
I don't know what this bombing thing is.
You and I sort of started around the same time.
Yeah, I started like 7 years ago.
Yeah. I'm coming up to
Florida-
6 years, January 1st.
In Florida, I just stayed a year, and I was like, I got to get out of here.
So
Or
we
I'm not-
probably came to the creek around the same time.
I think I came like 6 months before you or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, your rise has been different than mine. I've stayed under the radar on purpose. Because what Drew and Lisa say, I want to, when I'm ready.
When you're ready,
When
right.
I'm 67 and come in
But
on
there's
a cane.
nothing wrong with that.
No,
You know what
I think
mean?
I'm getting way better.
Ali
And
Wong
I do.
waited for a long time to do
Yeah.
her special, and it's one of the best stand-up specials of all time. That
Yeah.
is an incredible
it's great.
special because she was smart. She
Yeah.
curated material that meant something to her, and it took a long time,
Yeah.
and maybe not that long, but I'm just saying, like, she wasn't like 2 years in and then did a
Yeah.
special. You know what I mean?
I think I.
Although
I,
some people, Michelle Wolf was a genius. She
Yeah.
what has she been doing it for 6 years? And she has,
has she really only been
I mean,
doing-
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, her special was out of this world.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong. The good thing with
Oh, yeah.
comedy is it's not a sport.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be 25 to be the best. You can do this, you can hit 60 and hit your stride. I mean, it just depends on how much you're putting into it.
Yeah. I think I'm happy where I'm at. I think the new bits that I've been writing have been more me. And I think how I do present myself on stage, it's like, I used to be like, hey.
You used to be very
Yeah.
nervous before you'd go on stage.
Yeah. But that nerves, I don't mind the
And he
nerves.
used to pander a lot more.
Yeah, I would pander more. I cared if the crowd liked me.
Oh,
as
you
opposed to
can't.
just
You
being
cannot
funny.
care.
And I would get up and I'd be like, But when I started, I didn't care about that, which is interesting. Yeah,
I have to
don't know.
I have to get gifts.
But yeah, so
But what's interesting is I love the fact that because I don't remember the first time I saw you in comedy. I just know your face. Like we do shows and stuff
At
like
this-
that. But
yeah.
I'm like, I don't. There was a vivid group of people I remember. Like Suba, who just left.
Yeah.
Suba, I will love forever.
Yeah.
Because Suba, it's like everyone you start with, 90% will drop off.
yeah,
They will just be gone. People who I'm like, oh my God, they're like killing it. They're everything. They're blah, blah, blah. Gone.
yeah,
And the turnaround rate from open mics, which I haven't been to an open mic in
yeah.
3 years. I mean, I went to walked through an open mic the other month. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So the turnover is just so quick. And so when you see when I see Suba, it reminds me oh yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're
still in it.
Her work ethic is it's funny when you see the work ethic and you see someone jotting down jokes and they're just caring about their jokes and they're changing words and they're just so focused on what they're saying as opposed to when I was like, no, I'll do crowd work at a mic and that's making me a better comedian. I mean, maybe little things like that, but it's no,
open
just
mics,
focus.
Open mics are interesting.
I gotta be more focused, and that's it's hard.
Focus is good.
Focus is hard.
Open mics are interesting because open mics, people think it is just about the jokes, and it's not always just about the jokes.
Yeah.
Open mics are also, how do I stand on stage? How do I hold the
Yeah.
microphone? What movements do I like to use? What helps me? How do I do a pause? How do I move into a joke? How do I do a tag?
Yeah.
How do I engage with an audience? How do I engage with a bad
Yeah.
audience? How do I do a little bit of crowd work here? How do I present myself? What's the pace of my voice? What's the tone of my voice? There's so much you're learning. You're learning so much that it's not just about who am I talking to? Who are my
Yeah.
friends? Who should I be looking up to? Who should I be staying away from?
Yeah.
That's an important
And it can be
one.
baby victories also at mics where you're like,
mics
just going up on stage.
Yeah,
That's
mics.
a victory.
Mics are some of the most difficult things to do
Shows
in
are
comedy.
1,000 times easier, I think, than mics.
There's just a different monster.
Yeah.
I think
different
though
animal.
with New York City that mics can have also a negative effect in the sense when I started, like when I was a year in Florida, like I'd have one night where I knew I was doing the improv, where it was like kind of like a bringer, kind of like a show. But I had that one night, so I just worked so hard on this 5 minutes, and I was like meticulous about the words, and like I wasn't around. I was surfing. I was in like a good mood, and like I was very confident in myself, and it came across on the stage. If you watch my early, like I'm very like just in the pocket. And then you come here and then like you fail a lot of mics, and then there's a certain kind of comedy that only works at mics, and like you just get drilled into being like this monotone, like these are my jokes and this is who
the
I am.
tempo,
And
'cause this is what the mic is at. Yeah.
And then you be like, if you're weak minded, it can form
it
you.
can form you.
Yeah, it can conform you.
Yeah.
And New York does that.
That's probably why, and I'm not trying to be like me, but like that might be one of the reasons I stuck out right away.
Yeah.
Because I came in singing opera.
Yeah.
And Mariah Carey.
It's so the opposite.
It's like I don't care about these jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the mics can be really good, and you
Very
should
Andy
be
Kaufman of you.
Well, just
Like,
Andy Kaufman. But I think. I think mics too. Yeah, you're right. People can stay in mics too long.
Yeah.
It can hurt you,
Yeah.
and you can become a mic. You can become that guy that crushes at mics, but. You know, it's really more about what the mentality is going into mics. My mentality was, this is work. I have jokes to get done. I'm
Yeah.
going to debut. I'm going to work all week, debut it at the 6 o'clock Creek mic. And then, you know, if that works, I put it in the 10 minutes, and you sort of build up your 10 minutes that way. And then who are the people who I respect? I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to pick their brains, blah, blah, blah. You know, and then there's some people, it's like, this is a party, this is friendships, this is a hang, this is an easy, you know. So you see people doing mics forever. And you know what, maybe it's not their intentions to go out and be some big famous comic. Fine, that's not for everybody. But, you know.
Melissa Villasenor I used to look at her and go, that's what the kind of comic I want to be. She would come to a mic, she would sit down with her notebook, she'd laugh a couple of times with people, but she would go right back to her notebook, go up, do her thing, come back, write the notes from her set, and then go to the next one. And I was like, God.
There's a thing to that. And I think that people that do that and progress, they take note of the person being serious and treating it like a real job. You know, I came from like having a job in a corporate world, and I was like, comedy, you should always be funny and silly and like show your shit. And like if you are feeling anxiety, show your anxiety. Like whatever. But no, it's like because people want you to think like you belong there. And I forget that, you know.
I mean, when I was still doing the Creek, when it was still like at its peak, remember those 6 o'clock Creek mics for my class? I'm saying.
On like Friday.
On Friday, I remember, you know, if someone like Michelle Wolf went up, or if Mark Norman even would come in a few times, or Mike Lawrence, you paid attention. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's just a certain type of person when they went on stage, people paid attention to. And that's a big sign right away of this is someone to look out for, because there's also something about just being a presence that can command attention on stage. It's a difficult thing to be. Being on stage is a difficult thing. It's, you know, people think, oh, it's so easy. It's very hard you are commanding a room to listen to me and follow my lead. It's a difficult thing to do. It's an intimidating
you can do that,
thing to do.
But you're single. No, I'm kidding. I'm trying to get back.
No, that's very true. I mean, I know we're going way too deep into comedy. Don't let me forget my Bath and Body Works.
No, it's good. You know what?
Want.
Because we don't do that often, and I think people probably want to know like what we do every day. Because we just joke about being a dog walker and a trainer, and she's a trainer. And
What
we
type
don't
of
really
trainer?
Personal trainer.
Oh, work.
Fitness. Yeah.
What gym do you work at?
New York Health and Racket, 23rd and 6th.
Oh, nice. This hot Dominican guy that I have sex with every once in a while was going there. And for some reason, like he kept getting free personal training sessions. So he would do like a free personal training session a month with them.
Yeah, because we're forced to stand there and offer free sessions. And so
Some glitch happened.
Yes.
That he got all these sessions for free.
Well, now that's
Very beautiful. Today. Maybe not the most emotionally available. I forever thought that I wanted to be with him. I just thought he was amazing, and then I realized, I don't think he's right for me.
Oh, good.
I'm talking to this guy in Cleveland right now, who's
good.
really, really sweet. He might be a little young. He's 25, and it's like, you know.
How do you meet him? Through the internet?
Just Instagram, yeah. But he's really, really sweet, really talented, very smart, handsome. But, you know, you have to meet someone in person first to
you haven't met him
make a
in
judgment
person?
on that. No, he's going to come visit for like a weekend. What a bold
nice.
move that gays do.
Just expecting to stay with you?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course, yeah. I slept with this one guy from Brazil who lived in Paris and on a Tinder date in New York, and I was like, good enough for me. So I flew out there and stayed in Paris for a week.
A week.
Yeah.
A lot of like romantic, like comedy, not romantic comedy, like dramas, like gays. Oh yeah, we'll just go to Paris and we'll be together. We've never met before, and
Well,
just
because we don't like commitment. So if I
Yeah.
can do it for a small period of time, that works, and then I get to move on.
yeah. I could just imagine like a woman, like we're gonna stay in the same bed
Get out of here.
for a week in Paris. I've never met
No,
you, but
thank you.
You've just seen my
Well,
dick on
because
the
gays,
internet.
it'll be more like buddies who fuck.
Yeah.
Literally.
High five.
You know what I mean?
You ever high five
Yeah.
after fucking? Like, no, you just don't. Gays don't high five.
I'm not a hack.
Yeah. Sounds- well, on that note, thank you
Yes.
so much for doing it. Where
Mateo,
can the people
yes.
find you?
Do you have anything coming up that you want people to come to?
The Chris-
When does this come out?
After Christmas.
This comes out on Christmas.
Not on Christmas, but right around there.
I'll be at Sketchfest. Divas. Come to my Deep Battle of the Divas show, December 10th at Union Hall. Yeah. I don't know. Follow me on Instagram.
Yes.
Watch my show on Snapchat. Ghost Hunt.
And what's your Instagram?
Matteo Lane, Matteolane.
Beautiful.
And find me at Andrew T. Kyle and getting yelled at on Instagram on Matteo.
I don't regret it.
Yeah, well, it hurt.
And I bet you'll never forget to tell someone they're going to be on camera.
Oh, yeah, he'll
do.
forget.
I'm done
Yeah, he'll
podcasting. You ruined it for me. This is
Good. You learned
This
your
is the
lesson.
This is
end.
my last day.
Marshall, where can we find you?
Soundlounge.com.
Beautiful. And you can always find us at Happy Never After Podcast on Instagram, HNA Pod on Twitter, or you can follow me directly at Mara Merrick.
A very good radio voice.
Yeah,
Thank
rate and
you.
review. You hear that, Marshall?
Shut up.
This is a voiceover place, by the way.
It's not just a
We don't get
voiceover
cast
place.
for
Hey,
anything.
Well, I have a lisp, but she's good. Okay. And
Thanks,
rate and
everyone.
review.
Yes, please, and share with friends.
All right, later.
All right, love you.
Bye.